Ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rang Ru. Hello, hello, hello.
And guys, we're bringing something a little bit different today that Rang's going to explain in just a second. But first, of course, we are on Semi-Heracles Duelists. And Rang, take it away. Who do we have and what are we doing here?
Well, on the left-hand side in blue, we have Oneill as Guards Armored, and on the right-hand side, we have Rinters as the 17th SS Panzergrenadier Division. So we will be showing you coverage of the Steel Division League hosted by Proto Soccer. Essentially, this is a league that's going to be going on for pretty much, I think, 12 weeks, and it's pretty much to be like a standard Premiership league, essentially, with matches being played every week. Everyone's going to eventually fight everybody, and depending on the wins and losses, the whole scoreboard, the top two players in both divisions, there's two divisions, the Asia Division, this is one of the Asia Division matches, and then the North American Division. And the two top players after the end of the 11 weeks will end up making it to the playoffs, and then from there to the semi-finals and finals to see who is the best around.
Well, that's definitely what we need to know right now. Hopefully our armchair generals will be up to the task. Now, this is the duelist map of Semi-Heracles. How does this differ from the usual one?
Well, of course, it is flipped 90 degrees, but the major thing is the southern side is much more open. It's very open compared to the standard flanks on original St. Mary Glees. North side is also a little bit open too. It's pretty good for the right-hand side for the red faction, as they do have a nice horseshoe. And also the town, I find on Duelists, the town is much more fun to just fight over, as it's just less of like a really deep choke point, and it's more ride where you can fight over. It's just more riff to fight over instead of depth, and I just find that more fun, to be honest, instead of just trying to run down a singular road and hope for the best.
Well, it's definitely true. Yes.
Because on the the original St. Mary Glees, as you can see from our perspective, you can essentially just shut down the town by having the tank just look down the road. It's not really too fun, really. Right here, there's much more choke points and corners that you have to worry about.
And as any lady out there will tell you, width does definitely matter. Now, help me out real quick though. So it looks like we're going to see ourselves some indirect fire coming in from the Germans. Does that mean we're going to see an early? No, I don't think we will.
No Naval? Is that Naval?
I'm not. That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's a Naval.
It's a Naval.
It's a Naval. Okay, then it's going to be.
Thank God.
Oh right.
How you play 17th.
Oh, and this is going to be beautiful too. Okay, see where he's going to be sticking it. He gets that and gets that quick 6-pack off on that first push, I would say, by the guards. He could shut them down super early.
Yep, but also the guards is bringing out the 2-inch carrier. Also a really good choice, as is a machine gun of mortar carriers, and they can just pin down those stormtroops and Panzergrenadiers very easily. So both sides picking very good artillery choices. It's just going to be a pretty bloody fight in the town. I'm going to give it to Rinters, just because he probably has some storm. Yeah, those are definitely stormtroops inside.
Yes.
And we all know what stormtroops can do. They storm.
Okay.
While trooping around.
So we are going to see that early Nebelwerfer is going to be launching its stuff just, looks like it's just a hair too late maybe to catch that half track, or maybe, no, he's going to just barely miss that half track. 2-inch carrier is going to start lighting things up though as well.
Yeah, and stormtroops getting in close, and just looking at naval strike, just beautiful.
Well, and there goes that's the Shrek right there too. So that's a beautiful Faustrat, excuse me. But regardless,
I've rated half track's dead.
Yeah, exactly, and that's actually a big hit right here in the center, because these rifles cannot stand up to Stoßtruppen. I'm sorry, it's not possible.
It's especially at CQC range and then being stunned up. That's definitely going to help out. If he can move the Stormtroopers up fast enough and really ballsy, he can probably kill the turret's carrier, maybe.
That seems very possible. I do want to give a quick call out in the meantime, though, too. The Pack 38 to the north has already taken out that Humbler Mark car, armored car rather, and is forcing back the half track. So pretty much wherever you look, except maybe on the bottom over here with this Cromwell, the Brits are taking heavy losses. Yeah,
losing that town early on is definitely not going to do them round. Just look at Cromwell getting Pack 40, going to be forced to retreat as it's pretty much out of ammunition. And yeah, it's just not going all too well for Oneill. That town is really the center part of the map, and unless you can push heavy on the flanks to compensate, it can get difficult if you don't hold the town.
Also, I don't want to call this, I didn't realize this until just now, but that 221, the Panzerbücher an 40, down hugging that southern line here, that's actually a beautiful positioning. I just thought it was a Pack 40 before, but no, having those two anti-tank weapons will keep the Brits away for quite a bit of time.
Yeah, it's just a good coverage. He's bringing up another one of those 221 anti-tank half light vehicle things to the north. And he is still holding the town. We've got another attack here with rifles, but just seeing Winter's stormtroops play already, I think he's going to pretty easily decimate him.
Well, he's going... Okay, he's going super aggressive, and he's pinning down... Oh my gosh, I've actually never seen a close combat, literally close combat, that ends in a surrender before.
Oh,
Troops don't last that long.
They usually don't. And what also is quite new, see MG42 team?
Mm-hmm.
It's shooting over the buildings because it's in the church.
Ah, that's actually beautiful.
Isn't that great? That's just great. Too bad I never really indicate that. But yeah, if it's like the church buildings on maps, they shoot from the top here, not from the bottom, so you can shoot over buildings.
I never really realized that until just now. I'm actually really happy you called that out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because you can do some crazy stuff like that.
But in the meantime, we are still stuck at a 50-50 split, which is just shocking for both of these guys right about now. A mere 30 tickets keeping us separated.
Yeah, and it's not even close combat, it's just regular conquest. So it's
Indeed.
only a 51% advantage to get that nice +1 tick stream.
Oh, we're seeing the beautiful duck from building to building here. Those Stormtroopers are going to come in, and they're going to take out those rifles pretty darn quick.
Oh yeah, as you can see, and he's been using smoke extremely efficiently as well, and once those stormtroopers get in close, bye-bye rifles.
Well, he knows that Stewart's there as well, too, so that's lucky for him. He knows that they're there, he's not going to get caught out, and this could go either way here.
Yeah, it could actually go either way.
And it goes to the Brits this time, but there's barely anybody left to celebrate the victory.
Exactly. And we finally got a supply truck resupplying that neighbor Earther, and
a second one coming in, too.
Oh, damn. That's definitely going to be rather good. But I feel for Oneill, he really needs to try and push heavy on the flank. He's making some progress up north, Roz, with the motorized rifles, but he's going to bring on Cromwell to compensate, but really he needs to be trying to fight over the flanks, and that's really his division's strength, is tanks on open fields.
You know, I'm also not really agreeing with this whole let's bring motorized rifles to the center here. I don't think he's out of rifles already.
No, I'd
be very surprised.
If he wants to take the town, he's gonna, well, first he needs to kill bloody neighbor Earthers, but even then, once he gets into the town, he needs to use his half-tracks to try and kill these stormtroopers here, as his rifles and motorized rifles aren't exactly enough in run-on-run fights.
Well, even then, like you said, continue to just work the flanks the entire time. Seal again, and we've said this before on the same Meriglees, whether it's duelist or otherwise. If you are facing this town, seal it and move to the flanks, and circle and reduce that way.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't break through it, you might as well just try and go around.
If at first you don't succeed, try another part of the battle space.
Exactly.
But we're like 4.5 minutes out, 4 minutes and 10 seconds out from Phase B. And we finally are seeing some tickets spilling into Winter's coffers here. What then do the Brits do? You said already, talk about moving to the flanks. But given his current positioning, what does he do?
Oh, he really just needs to get some tanks to try and attack on the flank, like the Cromwell down south. I don't think he has any supply trucks tonight because he hasn't actually bothered to fix the Cromwell. But just a good armored push on one of the flanks, get some infantry in front to try and screen ahead, and just try and make a breakthrough somewhere. And he isn't really pushing too hard on either flank. He's really spreading out his forces. And I'm thinking in this sort of situation, he should just try to mass up everything heavy on one flank instead of just trying to play both somewhat evenly.
I'll switch over to his viewpoint real quick. He doesn't have any real information whatsoever.
No. He sees the Pack 40 at least, which is definitely a good thing to see. He could definitely kill it with the Cromwell Mark 6, to be honest. It's just,
but he's doubling down the Cromwell Mark 6s on the bottom, and I realize one of them is damaged. But for me, I can't help but feel it might have been better to put that second Cromwell to the north. I mean, the Pack 40 is a scary, scary gun. As it's about to show.
Yeah, really hit? Oh, whoa! First hit kill!
Like I said, it is a scary gun.
Okay, it does have that one star battery, it helps out a bit. Also, by the way, when you're viewing this is when the new patch is out. This is a pre-patch, so not everything is as it is at the moment.
No, I imagine we'd see different divisions at that point already, but hopefully we can get some of those new back to hell divisions before too much longer.
Yeah. Because it's funny, if we literally did this like a few days later, we wouldn't be able to actually cover these videos as the new patch kind of, destroys all the old replays. But nonetheless, Stormtroopers and even Pandarex are being ripped into that town ASAP. And really, Rinters just has a lovely defense all over. That's really what's helping him get through. Hold your town rail, and just cover the flanks. That's all he needs to do.
Oh, he's bringing in a Strug, by the way, as well. Strug 3 is on the field. I think you're trying to get that Shrek in, maybe a cheeky shot, that Stewart. I'm not sure that's going to happen, though.
I mean, he's going to kill that motorized rifles, and I know he might be able to do it. Those Shreks do have rather surprising range.
Yeah, with the 250. Oh, here it comes.
He's moving in closer.
You can't see him, though.
He's got
inside the building.
Shot.
Oh, man, here he goes. He's got this.
He only got one shot. Good
That's
enough.
Fine. He's falling back, first of all. He can get one more shot off. Be perfection.
There we go. He micros the Pandarex out of the building for the reload.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then brings him back in. Bada bing. And bada boom.
Indeed. Cromwell to the north in the meantime falls back from the Pak-38. And again, I'm actually kind of surprised by how well all of these anti-tank positions have been doing for the Germans.
Yeah, the main thing is the anti-tank guns have been annihilating the British armor threat. And once all the Guards armored down, the Panzergrenadiers with their 2 MG42s absolutely wreck the British infantry. And pretty much, yeah, Rinters just has really good defensive positions. And surprisingly, 17th SS is a really good defensive deck.
We are going to see a Sexton coming on in. I think this is probably about 6 minutes overdue.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
I kind of feel like I would not have gone and continued throwing riflemen into the front lines here. I would have brought in the indirect fire, but of course hindsight is 20/20.
Exactly, and Saxon is going to be a lovely tool in hopefully rooting out Yos Neighbor for 41. There's no way he's going to get that town if those Neighbor is still alive. They just dish out too much damage.
Yikes, that Strug in the meantime forces back the Cromwell, damages the Humbler Mark III. Is there anything that can be done here? Flak Vierling coming on in to suppress any sort of infantry fight if somehow that magically happens.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting choice getting it so close in the town.
Well, Sexton's going to start bombarding out this Pak-40. I think that's a good call.
Yeah, because if he can knock out Pak-40, he could pretty easily move through middle. Of course, there is that 221 down south, but that's not exactly the toughest nut to crack. But, he's going to be sending... He's bringing out some more infantry. I think he's going to be sending them into the town once again, but really he just should try and play in the flanks.
I agree completely. Okay. Now, how do you feel? You're coming under indirect fire right now from resources. Do you back away? Do you retreat? Or you just try to ride it out?
Oh, for the Pak-40, for example?
Yeah.
I'd GTFO immediately.
Exactly. That's probably the only gripe I'd have right now with Winter's play.
Yeah. He's bringing up a Pak-43 in the middle, so bringing out the heavy guns. Is that going to middle? Or... Yeah, okay, it's going a bit more towards the north. But nonetheless, that's big boom.
Well, looking where he's positioning that, I think that's a great idea to position it there. You're still covering the northern approaches, but at the same time, that town gets awfully constrictive.
Exactly. That's definitely a good position for that big gun. And definitely good because he is going to be preempting against any Shermans or Fireflies, and by the Pak-43 can easily kill them. Also getting a Mortar 3 to cover the south to take place of Pak-40.
2-inch carrier runs afoul of the Panzerschreck squad, and a protective, barrage of naval rifle rockets tells the motorized rifles that it might be better to stay at home.
Yeah. Those Oneill motorized rifles are going to be falling back for tea time right now.
We're going to see a Sherman coming on up, though, so the Brits continue to feel kind of plucky. I'm not sure I'd really be as plucky as they are in this situation. Yeah,
it's just... I mean, he's bringing up the Sherman. He's going to fight Stug to 3-star Stug 3. And if fate is on his side, he should be able to easily kill that Sherman.
And so far, I'm pretty sure that if there is a god, he might be German. I mean, in the context of this game so far, it's been insane.
Yeah, it's been very good, and okay, well, God wasn't looking there as Stug actually bounced off the Sherman. But,
look at it this way, at least he's putting 2 shells on target to the one right now, the Sherman.
Yeah. And,
the first miss.
Yeah,
That 3-star veterancy allowed me that basically a 5-3 in terms of shots so far.
exactly.
And again, this is one of those things you just can't look away. Falling back, okay, this screams kill one way or the other.
But I just really don't feel like Oneill has really much momentum on any of the flanks. He's being pushed back right now up north. I mean, the Cromwell and Sermon is not enough to deal with that Stug. And down south, we do have that Cromwell Mark 6, which is finally being bloody repaired, but there's really not much of a force here to attack. And I think Gal is going to be going once again to the motorized rifles inside the town. A lot of bloody rifles.
Jeez, that's not going to be beautiful at all.
Yeah.
Especially as we still have both Nables are ready and raring to go.
Yeah. We have a Stuka up north.
Ooh, thank you. Good call. What do we got, boys?
Go for the Crom.
You know, it sounds kind of silly, but I've not seen both shots bounce off a tank hull at the same time.
Yeah, especially against a bloody Cromwell. That's not exactly the thickest armor around town.
That is true. That is certainly true. And I still want to wait to see when we have this next naval was our shooting to the bottom. It took out the Bedford. That's still pretty darn good. And this guy's aiming. He's not going to see. Ooh, and there goes the Sherman. Oh my gosh, I can't. There's so much death happening at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. And this match should really be a good advertisement in why the hell you get naval rappers in A phase when you can. Because as you can see, Rinters is setting off all these assaults with just 2 60-point naval rappers and a 50-point supply truck.
Was it the only thing that he is really unlucky with is that he fired off one of those rounds way too soon? I feel like these rifles as they come in right now. Oh my gosh, look at that! Look at that A move.
Yeah. Oh Jesus.
This is when I wish I had navals.
At the same time, those stormtroops are going to be in a pretty good position.
Yeah, but you know, numbers eventually do tell. I mean, and what the attacker's supposed to have a 3-to-1 odds. I'd like to say. I think right now that's like 4 or 5. Of course, when you take out the supporting vehicles.
Yeah. And oh no, he's Russing. Don't Russing the dingo head first. You need to keep our life from her. No.
What kind of dingo are you?
There we go. Dingo was his name. Oh.
He's Daddy-o. Wow, that's really bad. I apologize for that one already. But look at this. I mean, geez, these Stosstroopen are outnumbered incredibly, and you're right. Right now, they're still fighting them off. It doesn't seem to matter to them.
There's an Aberwerfer 42 on the field, baby. Oh boy. And Aberwerfer 42, double the damage, double the boom.
Oh, and that DACA's coming right there too.
Yeah. And it's going to be coming to a town near you. Or near to the stormtroopers, at least.
300 mil rockets. Oh my gosh. I would not want to be on the receiving end of this.
No. Jeez. And there goes that whole rifle assault. It's just gone.
But look at this way. He's super lucky that the rockets have fallen as short as they have.
Yeah.
There's a lot of suppression damage I went over here against the Germans, but even then, 2 squads are dead. 3 squads are dead.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. And yeah, Oneill, these town attacks, they're not going too good. Oh, you know that Cromwell down south?
Uh-huh.
It's lost its ammo again.
I was saying the Stug up north also lost ammo. I think the Stug went down as well. Yeah. So it was internal armor fragments killed. Where did that... Did I miss
the pack? What?
The 88 going down?
Oh no, probably went down somewhere.
And by the way, there's a second Nebelwaffe 42 back there. So that entire artillery park, if they can hit that Sexton, that's great. But the Sexton right now is just abusing the artillery park.
Yeah, it's a little bit too close to the artillery, I'd have to admit. You want to spread it out a little bit. Spread the love.
That would be a better option, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but fortunately that Sexton isn't a 2-star Sexton, so it's not going to be able to, completely wipe out Winter's artillery park at the moment.
And in fact, even though dropping a bunch of rounds on him, he hasn't even killed him. Watch this happen. There we go. The first kills finally occur.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 2 more Opal Blitzes right in the area.
Now, if he could hit the Opal Blitzes and cause a chain reaction, now that'd be pretty lucky.
That is true. That is true. I mean, one of the Opal Blitzes underneath is completely Winchester as well. But the Nables are slowly toddling forward. Awful close, getting closer and closer. And it looks like there is a spark of life or two yet in the British army.
Yeah. He's doing another attack in middle with rifles, but I mean, an ABRF 42, it's reloaded. Same with the 41s, I believe. Nonetheless,
Okay, wait, the Stuka's gonna get some side shots. One.
There we go.
And there's still no allied air coming out either.
Oh no, I mean just one Tempest is more than enough to deal with that Stuka, and it is going to be going in on the Cromie.
Transmission. Transmission damaged and the shooter's wounded, as if that wasn't, you know, insult and injury.
Yeah. And, yeah, Stuka, I think he's going to come round for round number 3. No, he's going for the Firefly, Mr. Harris. And that's side shots, baby.
I didn't even see that was Harris there. And he didn't get the kill, though.
No, damn, that one Stuka's really done quite a dent in the British forces, yeah. And, I think another enable reference strike came in down in the middle. And, there goes your attack.
Very much so. No, but it does look like Oneill is determined now, after, you know, 2 gun runs by that Stuka, to make sure it doesn't happen again. Brings in 2 Crusaders.
Yeah, good choice.
Exactly. Tons of air cover right there.
And infantry support too.
That's true.
And he really needs it, because look at his Panzer Grenadier in the north.
And look, here comes the naval for attack too. Yeah. So he might have surrendered.
Call down your hands, call down to the artillery on my position, yeah.
he may have surrendered, but he died a hero. I was gonna let that one go. That's okay. Stuck 4 and Sherman-Vog with more Shreks coming on, and the guards, you know, like you said, there should have been an armored assault constantly, which we haven't seen that. These stormtroopers have been inside this town since the word go.
Yeah, he's really just focused on the town a bit too much for Oneill, and when really sort of just push heavy on one flank and a light defense on the other. Do you want to take us to times 2 speed?
Okay, at 12. 3, okay, 2, 1, go. So 9:15:30 right now, 52 to 48. Germans just continue to hang on out. Yeah, P4 to the north takes out part of the anti-air cover. Yeah, might do the same in the second to the south. Nope, doesn't. Another Sherman coming on in. Half-track just explodes. And that's really just the constant tail here, hasn't it been?
Exactly. I mean, really, Gao could have made a much more aggressive push down south, but he's really just been concentrating his forces up north and middle. And it hasn't been working all too well for him, unfortunately.
Well, I do like this Martyr play. The Martyr's been kind of shooting, scooting the entire time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just fall back. You don't want to be engaging too long, as it's only a 2 armored vehicle. And, yeah, he's just gaining pretty decent ground.
You know, I do want to see how many kills naval buffers have gotten, because it's been so surprisingly good.
Yeah, they're really MVPs of the match, and as we can see, there's a few well-placed naval rifle strikes completely shut down entire assaults.
Sherman falling back, but the driver's been knocked out. Transmission is damaged. Okay, like...
He's not falling back anytime soon.
Well, now he is, but it's just bouncing like crazy. Yeah. Now, this Befehl der Panzer, if we see the Cromwell take this out, I'm not going to say it's going to be any kind of... Oh, never mind, that's one.
No.
Jeez. Another Star Trooper is coming on in as well, so he's going to insult to injury and then some. Nope, he's falling back. No. Okay. And another wave of infantry being brought on in.
Don't think it's going to work, Khan.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
And the Germans bring some of their own infantry. And another big old Pack 43.
Which is quite surprising, because Rinters doesn't really reinforce the town that much. He's been using a lot of the units that he had in the original assault just to defend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Harris is still alive, which is super surprising to me. And oh my gosh, this next assault just got hammered.
Damn. That's not good. And I think he's some more some pioneers being ripped into the town. And yeah, Oneill is not going to be making any progress. The Stug force coming around the bend, and it's pretty much going to be setting off the reinforcement line of that town.
Yep. When your stormtroopers have no more Faust, that's when you know it's a problem.
Yeah, a good problem nonetheless.
There goes the Sexton. Or the new Sexton, rather. So that was full ammo and everything.
That's not good. That's not good. That's bad. That's very bad. There's recon units right next to the Marauder. at the south, and good game.
Gal says, dude, forget it, we're done.
Yep. Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, and look at that KD, I completely understand why.
Yep, and did the stormtroopers did for 15, 20-point unit? That's pretty good, man.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's
Naval claimed 3, another table 4 claimed 3.
Yeah. Not much on the kills, but it's just huge suppressions, and really those neighbor Earth strikes allowed the stormtroopers to, murder everything. Quite frankly.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
And frankly, look at the history itself; just kind of screams that. We just have endless time where just nothing red hat goes down.
Oh yeah. It's just Rinters set up a very solid defense. And defended well. I mean, look, he loses the last unit, 22 minutes in. That's how the Pack 40 went down. And after that, it's all just everything blue dies.
Yep, last 10 minutes, you're right. He loses one guy, that's it. So apparently the Brits decide to live by the axiom, better dead than red.
Yep.
And Winters are all too able to oblige them.
O'Neill just guarded a little bit too much when he should have been attacking.
Indeed. But that's going to do it for me. How about you?
Yep, I'm good. And,
Sounds good.
Expect more Steel Division League videos soon.
Indeed, folks. You all have a great day. Enjoy that new DLC. We'll see you all soon.
Take it easy.